Well, guys, we've got 4 minutes of normal time to go, and I'm guessing 2-3 minutes of extra time. And I thought I'd start this one a little bit earlier. Maybe we'll catch a goal towards the end. In fact, Luton are getting into the box here. Hang on. Whoa, a shot. Just like the City game, really. I started Operation Arsenal with, a comment like, well, that wasn't a very good game. Kind of the same feeling here. This has not been a very good game. And I think it's very obvious that Arsenal have taken it easy. We haven't really got out of second gear and we've comfortably got the 3 points. Although, technically, as I'm recording this right now, there is still time. You never know. Imagine if we lost 3-2 now. Oh my God. Let's not even go there. I think this says a lot. You know, this momentum graph, I look at it every time and it does give you a great insight into how the game was played. Obviously, the first half, we've done the business. I actually missed to about here. It's actually my mum's birthday today, so I was out with my mum and I got home back here. So I just missed the Ødegaard goal. But as you can see here, and I'm guessing we dominated just like this. We just had a lot of the ball. And since the beginning of the second half, this is very accurate. There's been periods where we've... Oh, Nketiah shot. Good save. There's been periods where we've dominated possession, but realistically, Luton have had good moments too, but there hasn't been many big chances. So really not the most exciting game. And there isn't much to talk about other than I'm just happy it's a 2-0 win. It could be slightly different in a couple of minutes. Here are some of the other stats. I think Luton obviously would have seen this game coming up and thought, well, we'd be very lucky to get anything from that. So this isn't really going to affect them too much. It's not like this game is going to send them down. They've got a big few weeks ahead of them. They've got some crunch games. And I kind of want Luton to do well. I want them to stay. Why isn't their stadium in the game yet? Why can't I use Luton Stadium on FC24 yet? Why can't I see all of those houses? I'm guessing they're having troubles getting that one put in the game. EA, I mean. But I like them. I know they're a relatively... I guess it's so difficult. I don't want to be rude and dismissive of Luton because they're a Premier League side. But I think along with Sheffield United and, you know, we can look at the table here, Burnley, I'd argue that Nottingham Forest at times, I mean, they are championship quality teams that have just found themselves in the Premier League. And it happens every year. You get one or two teams that come up and go straight back down. That's typically what happens. But out of all of those teams I mentioned, I want Luton to stay up the most. I'm a huge fan of Mpanzu. I'm sad to when they took him off. I was quite sad. I believe I might be wrong. I might be thinking of someone else. But is he not an Arsenal fan? I can't quite remember right now. They're missing Adebayo, their top scorer up front. I think Morris is a good player, but I think maybe they would have played slightly differently if they had Adebayo fit. Maybe Morris was playing off him. A little bit unfortunate for Hashioka, a £2 million signing that I'd never even heard of until today. I've done a little bit of research. £2 million. Obviously, it's not the best game to rate him on, but there were moments. I think on the ball, he looks pretty tidy. Would be a very good championship player, potentially. Mengi, I think he's been pretty good. And he's dealt with Havertz and now Nketiah relatively well. And I'm a big fan of Rob Edwards. I didn't realise this, but he was Watford coach for a very short amount of time. They messed up there, didn't they? Watford are famous for giving up managers very quickly, or giving up on managers very quickly, I should say. Also, another game going on right now is the 4 minutes of added time, by the way. Arsenal, top of the league right now. City are playing against Aston Villa. So that's a pretty big game. And what we're seeing here is now a very clear divide, aren't we? If that result stays as it is, with Man City winning 2-1, it's just even more gap now. Obviously, we know it's a 3-team race. And as of right now, we're winning it. But of course, Liverpool play Sheffield United tomorrow, so they will win that game. Let's talk about the Arsenal lineup. There are a few players that have featured today that might not be at the club come next season. One of them being Eddie Nketiah. He has come on in the 66th minute. And honestly, up against a team like Luton that are 2-0 down, we're at home, you would hope to see a lot more. And I guess you could say the rest of the Arsenal team have been quite lackadaisical. There hasn't been an urgency there. And Nketiah's, he's running a lot, but honestly, I think this might be it for him. I think we're going to see the very last of Eddie Nketiah in Arsenal colours this season. I think in the summer I would let him leave. We should be able to get a pretty solid 25, 30 million, I would say. I wouldn't pay more than 30 million for Eddie Nketiah, but then again, I have a very deep suspicion that he will go to a Crystal Palace or an Everton and actually do very well. So maybe he's worth more than 30 million to some teams, but I think he's probably not going to be here. I don't want to put Smith Rowe in that category. I think it's very obvious that Arteta does like him. He's given him 85 minutes today. Does Smith Rowe have the quality to get into the first team at Arsenal right now? I don't think so. What's his best position? Is it left wing? Is it in central midfield like he was today, playing that number 8 role? A lot of questions for Smith Rowe, and I think a lot of it is obviously availability. You know the old saying, the best ability is availability. Nelson, I think it's very possible that he could be on his way out of Arsenal in the next couple of seasons. I don't think he's going to be a long-term project here at Arsenal. I just don't see enough from him. He came off in the 75th minute, and I just thought, well, I mean, he almost scored. It was an own goal in the end. That was the Hashioka own goal. Thomas Partey, I think it's his last season. I think, again, we can talk about the ability thing, the availability being the best ability thing. He's just not available enough. And honestly, he is such a good player on his day. I'd argue I mean, it might sound a bit crazy to you, but on his day, Thomas Partey is as good, if not better, than Declan Rice. And it might sound mental because Declan Rice has changed this team and has arguably been one of the best signings of the summer and one of our best players this season. But if you're an Arsenal fan, you've seen that quality that Partey has. So I will actually be sad that it's coming to an end, but also relieved because if we can get 30, 35 million, maybe he'll go to Saudi and we'll get a bigger offer. Maybe we'll break even. I think he was 42 million, something like that. I wouldn't be too sad to see him replaced adequately, but that's the thing. Can we replace Partey? I think anyone who's fit for 80% of the season does a good job to replace him. Is Lokonga going to come back and fill that void? No. Could it be a Zubimendi? Could it be an Onana? I don't know. I think Zinchenko is another player that's maybe on the cusp. It sounds crazy because when he joined, and he came with Jesus, it was that feeling of bringing in title winners, serial winners, and that feeling has now naturally gone a bit because he's been at the club for a little while. We haven't won anything major. We've won a Community Shield, okay. And I don't know if Zinchenko actually improves the side enough. That's just my thoughts. I think Zinchenko is a very good, technically gifted footballer, but I've never really liked him as a left back. So I think that is potentially another player that could be on his way out. The game has just finished. It is going to be a 2-0 win at home to Luton. It's a good result. No injuries as far as I can tell. And no players really exerting themselves. And the most important thing, and I haven't mentioned it today, and that is that Saka was completely rested. We've brought on 5 subs. None of them are Saka. He wasn't in the squad today, which is definitely a good thing. Let's have a look at our fixtures coming up. I know we've got the Bayern game next week. Why can't I see fixtures? It's normally right there. There we go. So, of course, it's Brighton on Saturday, followed by the Bayern game. The Brighton one's tricky. They haven't had a particularly great season. I know they've got a lot of injuries and whatever, but not an easy ground to go to. I wish I was going. I might have a look for some last-minute tickets, but because I'm 30 minutes drive away from Brighton, 45 minutes on a busy day. But then, of course, the big one against Bayern, and then Villa as well. I mean, it's quite a tough 4 games, and we're playing every 3 days. And then Wolves away, that's always been a bit of a bogey fixture for us. Chelsea at home, Tottenham away. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And as I said in the last Operation Arsenal, if we can get down here and have all green, I would snap your hand off. I think it's very clear that we probably won't win every single game here, although we're capable. I think we will slip up somewhere. And that's why I ultimately think we won't win the title. I do think that Man City will go on to win. I think Liverpool will slip up as well. But I'm just saying that, I guess, to be safe. I don't want to say we're going to win the title because when I say things like that, I always feel like I'm kind of jinxing it. But At the moment, City is still playing and winning 2-1. That could obviously change. It is only half time, so I'm going to go ahead and watch the second. Oh, it's 5 minutes in now. It's not looking great for Villa, but they've beaten City once this season. They've beaten a lot of top teams. You never know. We might get something in this second half that benefits Arsenal. But of course, it benefits Liverpool as well. Ideally, we need Liverpool to be dropping points as well. But Sheffield United tomorrow, that ain't going to happen. But yeah, not a particularly exciting episode tonight, guys. Not much to talk about. It was a pretty routine win. Ødegaard's clapping the fans, walking off the pitch. We're going to go into tomorrow's games top of the league, though. That's the main thing. But thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.